I don't know why I put it off. I think it was because of having to use a tool to move them. Yeah, I would have to give Land Pride a 5 on that design. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am really glad you're here because today I'm going to do some driveway maintenance. At least I'm going to try to. I have got a ton of grass and weeds growing up between the stones in this driveway. Now, we've been talking about should we get more stones for the driveway, and I'm kind of torn because the driveway's in good shape, but the stones have kind of started to disappear, and you know, I think the stones either fall down through the dirt or the dirt comes up through the stones. I've used the land plane on the driveway, which cleaned it up, but it didn't last more than, you know, a season. I've used the box blade, but recently I discovered a little, it's not really a trick, I guess I just wasn't doing it right in the past, but I did some dirt work and I dropped the scarifiers, the rippers down, and it really broke up the soil, and I thought maybe that's what I need to do, is to dig it a little deeper, get under these stones, bring, you know, a couple inches of stones up, and maybe the dirt will fall down through, and that might help quite a bit. So that's what I'm going to do today and see if it does a better job than just using the box blade by itself. I don't have the land plane here today because that's belongs to a neighbor that I borrowed, but I do have my box blade, so I'm going to try it with that. I'll be honest, I've not really dropped these or adjusted these rippers much because it's not a toolless process. You have to take these clips out with pliers, drop them down, and then drop the clip back in. It's not difficult, it's just not convenient. So I've got my box blade kind of angled back because I don't want these blades to be really digging in or picking up the stone too much. I just want them to grab the stone and redistribute it out the back. So it's leaning back. You can see the rippers are down about 2 inches below this surface. So they're going to be digging in, breaking up all those stones and soil. I'm going to use medium gear range and probably 4-wheel drive. Let's take a look at what we have after the first, well, probably 10 passes altogether. And it's definitely pulling up the clumps of grass nicely. So that's all going to die off. There is a lot of fine dirt though in here. So I don't think we're going to be able to bring the stones all the way up to the top without still having this mix of dirt. So I don't know that that's going to, it's going to look nice, but I think it's going to be maintenance that is going to require, you know, weeding and whatnot. What do you think, Hotch? You want to lay in some fresh dirt? It's going to require maintenance, and the weeds are probably just going to come back each year. Now, of course, even with new stone, you're going to get some weeds, but you compare, you know, the undone side over here to the done side, doesn't look too bad. So I'm just going to keep hitting this. I think the more and more you hit it, the better it's going to get. The worst part here is the parking area. The driveway itself is not so bad, but this parking area really has a lot going on. So I'm going to keep hitting this. It's tough because it's a kind of a small area, so it takes a lot of maneuvering. But doing the driveway is nice because you have just a nice long run and you just run up and down the driveway. But this one takes a little more maneuvering, and it's a, you know, I think instead of spraying Roundup all over the place, this might be a better alternative to just tear up the weeds and do it that way. So I'm gonna keep going. And here's an example where it's doing exactly what I wanted. This side, because of rain and everything and standing water, the stones are practically invisible. And just one pass has brought the stones back up on this side. So there are certain places this is going to work really well. One thing for sure, it is dusty today doing this. It's working really well, and I think that once I go over this several times, then I'll raise those rippers up and just hit it with the blade just to kind of smooth it out, because it's leaving some grooves. But overall, it's dressing the driveway really nicely. The stones are pretty much done for, I think. I think if I really want a nice new stone look, I'm going to need new stones. But getting this dressed up and cleaned up, I think driving over it, we get a couple of rains to kind of wash off the light dirt. It's going to look remarkably better. And again, the driveway's not full of potholes or anything. It's in good shape. It's just a matter of not looking so nice, especially when the grass grows through it. So I'm really happy with the results from this thing. And I'm just going to keep going with it and again, raise up those rippers and just kind of smooth it out as best I can there. And then I think we'll have a nice looking driveway. So I went over the driveway several times. I really tried to rip it up. I even did some zigzags to try and keep from having just straight lines and just try to hit every area that I could. I've got it pretty good now. It's actually even soft to walk on. So now I'm going to take the rippers and raise them up. All the way to the top so they won't be hitting at all. And then with the blade still tilted, or the box still tilted back so it's not digging in, I'm just going to run over it several times and see if that'll kind of level things out. But it already looks a lot better. Yeah, I would have to give Land Pride a 5 on that design. I mean, they work, they never fall out, but just the fact that you need to use a tool, I don't like that. One of the tricks I've found, and what can be quite challenging, is when you're running that box blade and as you're moving forward, the box blade is filling up with stone or dirt or whatever you're trying to work with. And when you get to the end of your line, you don't want to just pick up the box blade because it'll just dump that stone and you'll have a big pile there. So what's a little bit tricky is, and you have to plan about 50 feet ahead of time, is I just start to pick up the box blade. It doesn't start to lift up until 4 or 5 on here. And as soon as I see the stone start to work its way out of the box, I stop, or maybe just go a little hair more. You might want to tend to just keep lifting when you see that happen, but the trick is, once you lift it and you start to see the stones moving, that means the box blade is now up off the ground an inch or 2, and just leave it and let the stone feather its way out. If not, you're going to end up with a big pile at the end of your line. Well, this turned out real nice. A little bit of rain and it'll help wash off some of the stones. Then of course driving over, it's going to pack them down and flatten them out. But it looks good. I've uprooted most, if not all, the grass and weeds. So it's a success for now. At some point we'll order more stones. But I'm happy with that. And I'm glad I finally moved those ripper teeth down to actually use them. I really just, I don't know why I put it off. I think it was because of having to use a tool to move them. I think if they were easily moved, I would have done it a while ago, but it's just one of those things I kind of ignored and then kind of forgot about. So anyway, it worked out really well. I appreciate you being here today. If you like this video, if you would hit that thumbs up, that like button, I would really appreciate it. If you've not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel or followed me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I invite you to join me there as well. Again, thanks for being here today, and as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.